Hey everyone, Mr. Devil here, Kenny Danico, 3-time Stanley Cup champion of the New Jersey Devils, and you're listening to the Uncle Puckers New Jersey Devils podcast with Chris, Dan, Bobby, and Tony, the Uncle Puckers. Let's go Devils!
This is the Uncle Pucker New Jersey Devil podcast about, with Chris, Dan, Bobby, and Tony, about like 10 minutes removed from the end of the Boston, New Jersey game. I got to just get everyone's kind of thoughts of that game and the big win. And, when it's fresh in your mind, when emotions are high. We'll start with you, Bob.
Well, that's probably not the right way to start because I did not have this game. So I was listening to it on the radio and I was watching the video clips and I was extremely disappointed as I saw us holding on to that one goal, making the comeback, getting into overtime. When we got on and you guys were talking pregame, I had to actually go find the video of Jack's goal.
But wait, you didn't watch the game?
No.
Okay, we'll move on. Dan,
yes, that's what I'm
saying. I feel for you, Bob, because that is honestly the best game I've seen all year.
I mean, I got to listen to Chico on the radio.
Yeah, that's always fun. That's always fun, Bob. But this was the best game all year so far. Mm-hmm. You missed the best game all year. This game was so fucking competitive. It was like a playoff game wrapped in a more important playoff game.
Like
it was great.
7.
It was
a game 7 playoff game.
It was exciting. You know, your team was
played outdoors,
not like taking
on
control,
the moon.
but they were trying on the moon. Exactly.
Right.
They were trying, to do their best. And at some point you were like, oh man, I don't know which way this is going to go. So back and forth. Goaltending was so good tonight on both ends. Jeremy Swayman is the man. I mean, you see the fire he's got. I totally get, why so many people are hot on him. He's awesome. Very envious of him as a goaltender. But Vanacek, he was incredible. He held us in. He did not let us down. And in the end, it was just going to be who scored first. It had that. That's why it had that playoff feel that as you went down and you just knew that it was going to take something extraordinary. Then you get to 3-on-3. And I mean, I don't think there's a better team on 3-on-3 than us.
I was just about to say there is nobody better 3-on-3 than the Devils, right?
If you could vote, like, we're going to play a 3-on-3 league, which team you want to be it's the Devils. Once you get the size and space factor out of the game, the skill just comes out, and
it's so ridiculous,
from Bratt
man.
To Hughes and everything in between.
This was the best 3-on-3 I've ever seen.
It was incredible, and it's funny because you just feel like when they go 3-on-3, there's just a strong chance they're going to win. Yep. It's incredible, and tonight they came through. It was just so much fun to watch that game.
Tone,
that's great.
Tone, before we start,
the best I ever saw, man.
Okay, so Tony, you did get to watch the game.
I watched it, I mean,
you watched
and it
Bobby,
was fucking
Bobby
spectacular.
Bobby is 45 miles away from the arena.
And Tony, how many miles away are you?
You were about what?
How far is
5,000.
5,000. Okay, 5,000 miles away. And he watched
thousands of miles away.
So what did you take away from this game, Tone?
I thought it was spectacular. No, first of all, as I was telling Chris before we started the show, I got to thank the hockey gods or devils or whatever that it didn't go to a shootout because this game was too good to end like that. This game was like way too good to have that bullshit happen.
Yep.
Vanacek was awesome. I was thinking by that second period, I was like, if we could have Schmidt and Vanacek play like this all year, this would be fucking amazing. These guys like that, the way they played this last week. Jack Hughes, it was funny when he ran into his brother and got pissed. Bobby didn't see this either.
No, I saw that.
He saw that.
I saw videos.
Ran into his brother. Jack got pissed and fucking slammed the stick. It was just the goal at the end. I swear, I said to myself in the overtime, I said, Jack Hughes is going to score. Like, I just thought to myself, like, he's going to score, I mean. And you could see, like, in that beginning of that overtime where Boston tried to use that physical thing right away. They were just trying to really but it didn't matter. Like, we just
not with that much space, right?
Yeah, it was just that much space. And like you guys said, we have to be the best 3-on-3 team. I feel very confident. And what's great about this was a game we would have won last year. And when this game was in midway today, I was like, I don't know if I thought that. I said, I don't know if we're going to pull this off.
I feel like this might have been the difference between this season and last season, right?
Yeah.
Like this season, it doesn't. So, they're giving us hope that, like, wait a second, guys. Maybe your expectations have not been met yet, but it ain't over yet. And they look pretty damn good to win like this.
Yeah.
I have a couple of takes off this game.
Yeah.
First one is statement win. The NHL 100%. Needs to notice that the Devils are really coming on strong, and I think they're about to make a move because we could not, even as good as we were last year, we could not beat Boston. Well, we just beat them. If you look at 90% of the power rankings would have them as the number one team in the NHL. That's true. We hung. We hung with them right from Jump Street. When goaltending, we matched up even. Swayman made some ridiculous saves, but Vanacek did too, especially in that third period. They had that big flurry. He made like those 3 saves.
In a row that were incredible.
That last one on that save was absolutely that
left pad save.
Just to get that pad out, and he was great tonight. The one error he made left out that big rebound.
Yeah.
But after that, he was very controlled. I thought Vanacek fucking played amazing.
Bobby, how did that save sound on the radio?
Save sounded all right, but I got to tell you, I also had to go to social media because I'm trying to get the full experience. Like, what are all the fans thinking?
Chico didn't paint a picture.
Boy, man, were they blowing up about that rebound popping out of his glove or whatever. It was pure hatred for a while there.
Well,
so I was thinking this game's not going very well after that. But
it was crazy when that happened when Vanacek popped the rebound out. I was thinking 2 things. Number one, the fucking rebound, dude. And that's the best move. And then I was thinking, he stabbed at it with his left pad and he almost got there. And it made me kind of consider something that once in a while I think about, like, if you leave the rebound and then make a ridiculous save, that's a game-changing save.
Right.
And so he almost got there, but really the best goaltending move there is don't leave that rebound. Hit you in the chest, it can't pop out, and it did. But boy, you're right. He settled down. He was so rock solid. He came up with insane saves after that.
Defensively, we matched them every single minute of that 60. We matched them defensively. The neutral zone was a mess tonight, and I think we actually played better defensively than they did. We controlled, especially after the first period, we controlled
Nemitz
the majority
in that
of
third
play.
and second period.
Dude, Nemitz is for real. This whole team looked phenomenal, and I'm going to back up to the Edmonton game, okay? Another game that I thought was a ton of fun to watch if you kind of take the goals out of it. Like we did, we missed a lot of nets. We were not really on our game as far as our, finesse and everything, but we hung with them. We played very well defensively, I thought, against them. We won in Vancouver. We won tonight. I thought we played really good against a super red-hot Edmonton team. Just didn't go our way. Those are kind of losses you can kind of live with, right? Because it's not like my team didn't show up. My team played like shit. You kind of got beat that night by the better team, and we play again next week, and I can't wait for that game. But what's the one thing, if anyone can think, that's the same, that hasn't been, but now it was the same now for the last 3 games?
Okay.
Where the Devils have played much better. Can anyone think of a common thing in those 3 games, personnel-wise?
Are you talking about Hamilton being out?
Smith being benched and Hamilton.
Nemitz?
Yes. Brendan Smith has not played in those 3 games.
Yeah.
And
addition by subtraction, right?
I think the Devils have looked the best this season in those last 3 games.
Right.
But I will say what Dan said too, I thought of yesterday. I said, we haven't really, I know we're not Hamilton haters, but I don't know if we've really missed them right now. I mean,
no.
Right now they're getting together a team defense that he better slide into when he comes back because it's working, right? It's working better than he was there. And I have no doubt he's capable of doing that. Yes. So I'm hoping he's looking at it as like, finally, we got something going. I can't wait to get back in this lineup because his skill is undeniable. We want Hamilton in the lineup, no doubt. But, he has not been consistent. So in a way, it was nice, the timing of it. If you have to be without Hamilton and he's not playing well, I guess that's a good time for him to take a few off.
And if you're watching Nemec, fill in for you and playing the way he's playing. Now, I mean, look, we could possibly have come playoff time, that we make it there. We could possibly have, our three pairings being like a Nemec and a Hughes and Hamilton on the third, or however you want to do it. Like that can be deadly. I hope that when he comes back, he has, the right attitude and, like you said, slots into this thing seamlessly because Nemec being up and Smith being gone, we didn't take stupid penalties tonight. We didn't this was just a well-disciplined for real team. You watch them play tonight and you're like, yeah, they can do some damage. They played exactly how you want them to play every single night. And against a lesser team, the way you play tonight, you score 4 goals. So I really love the way it's going. Bob, is there anything that maybe Chico added?
How's Matt doing? Is Matt
okay? Was there good Wawa commercials and stuff between?
Absolutely. It was just everything you guys basically were saying. I mean, they talked a lot about the first period and getting their legs after the road trip and all that. And, there's nothing I could say that you guys haven't already touched on. But
I'm always curious what Chico thinks about the goaltenders. What did he have to say? Because, Chico's being the goalie background. Did he ever say anything special about it? Was he kind of bummed himself about the rebound? He's always an apologist to some extent.
Yeah,
did he come out and say he didn't like that rebound?
He did pretty much say that flat out.
What did he have to say about Swayman?
You got to stop. It's just praise for Swayman.
Yeah, he was crazy. He was.
It was obvious how well he was playing.
And they see Swayman go over and he's talking to Allmark. What a goalie tandem this team has,
It's hard not to say that's the best tandem. Yeah, what do we have a better tandem right now? If you're going to say like the two of them who carries their weight,
This week was nice,
No, but goalie tandem.
Oh no, we're talking about with Allmark and Swayman.
Yeah, is there a better
Is there another team that has a better two?
Yeah,
no.
Is there? Maybe let me be clear. A better team that has a better tandem than Boston.
So. No,
I mean they might have a better single player, sure.
Yeah, but I can't think of many. I can't think of many teams that have ever had a better goalie tandem than Boston has right now. I mean,
yeah, it's true. I was talking about that with my kids. I'm like, it was different when I was your age. You didn't really have tandems. That was never a thing. And so, you looked at each team and they had their guy, and there was something cool about it. But there's also something to be said, like, wow, you have two guys that good as Boston does, as your tandem, like pitching in like that. That's pretty impressive.
I thought tonight kind of had like a '90s goaltending vibe to it, actually, a little bit, like the big saves, just like both guys were playing like. On top of their game. It was just like
missed those low scoring games, right? A 1-1 game going into overtime. That's throwback, right?
That's hustles in front of the net.
I wanted to ask you guys if you think that the general. I was just about to ask you guys this. Like, do you think the general theme, especially like on social media, or would you think it would be the same as us? Like, are we thinking this was an amazing game because we are old school and that's the kind of game that we like to see? Or are there going to be people out there who are like, I can't
Great
believe
question.
2-1, these are two of the highest.
Here's the thing. Like, in this era, I see what you're saying. In this era, I think you get away with and you get to enjoy
like
those
this anymore,
right? Because they're an anomaly. So, like, I think people have an appetite for it. Back in the day, when you were like, "Wow, our team has held their opponents off a little less than 15 shots in the last 10 games," people, to some extent, if you're not a Devil fan, you're understandably bored. Right. But, the Devils are scoring 5 goals. They're scoring 6 goals. And then they win a 2-1 game. It's fucking exciting. It's something different. So I think that people have the appetite for it. And it does make those of us who kind of lived in that era like, wow, I missed this. I don't know. I really felt like I missed a 2-1 win like this in overtime. I really missed this.
But like you said, I do enjoy the product now better. But every once in a while, because this kind of shows you like who's the better team. Like, this is a fight, you fought for 60 minutes against a fantastic team and you came out on top. Like, you're the better guy. Like, when you have, 5 games and stuff, a lot of times that just comes down to a few guys really just taking advantage, a few better players
last.
Taking advantage of, other guys maybe on D or whatever.
Something like football timing that last, score to win the game. It feels like that a little bit, but not like tonight.
This kind of game tonight was like, 2 really good teams. Just like you said, it had a playoff feel to it. Like, it felt that neither team was given an inch. Best players, I thought, showed up, at least for us. I thought that Timo Meier had a really good game. I know they talked about it a lot. I thought that he was much better. I thought that freaking third line of Holtz, Mercer, and Holla was unbelievable tonight.
And that's a line that had to get going too, so that's good to hear. Did Timo stay on the right side most of the game?
He stayed on the right side most of the game. No, he actually moved over to the left side when he went up to the first line, didn't he? Yeah,
yes.
With when he was up there. He stayed on the right when he was up there because they had Palat on there. He was on the left.
I just really feel like that's where he belongs, at least for a good stretch. That's where his success was. We've said it before. Now's the time to give it to him,
I think one thing I noticed is that once we got past that first period, I thought when Boston came out, I was like, okay, I thought looked like they had a little bit of the edge. And I thought once we got past that first period, I was like, okay, now we could, because I think Boston came out and they thought maybe they could get a nice 3-0 lead or something on us. And, I think that was a big change. In the second period, you could see the Devils just come out a little different. Like, okay, we can hang with these guys. Because maybe the confidence is a little
in the first, they started off pretty good. And they started fading, right? Yes. It was like, oh, shit, this team is tired from the trip. They're flat. They look like they're hungover from the West Coast trip. It's going to be a long night. They might descend and come out with a even worse second period because the first half of the first period was not bad. The second half, you could just see them going away. Yeah, and then by the time they let,
first.
Yeah, and then they were just like out of it. You could see them like limping to the end of that period, and it cost them. So he had every reason to fear going into the second, but it didn't happen, right? They came out a lot stronger.
Well, there's you do enough cocaine in between intermissions, it tends to work wonders.
Secret weapon.
Second and third. So if they
Keeps
didn't try that, they should have. What's that?
Keeps me up to watch the games.
Do what you got to do. Do what you got to do. Definitely.
I mean, what do you guys think of the Edmonton game? Do you guys feel the way I did, that it was a really good game?
It was.
I was bummed out a little bit.
A lot of missed opportunities.
They missed the net a ton. They were, it was a little clumsy out there at times, but I thought defensively they played really good.
It really was a game that a loss didn't concern me. You're looking at what they did the week before. They still played well. It was the end of a long trip out west. They did miss some opportunities. Who knows how it could have went if they, buried one or two more of those.
Yeah.
And it was against an Edmonton team that was really rolling. And we're starting to roll. And now you look at the bigger picture again. You step back and look at some of the teams that we have beat or hung with in the last couple of weeks. Look at the potential coming up for the next couple of games. And, everything's turning positive right now.
I think
exactly the way we want to go and keep getting better, man.
Yeah. With the Edmonton game, I was a little bummed only because and this made up for it tonight. Because with the Edmonton game, I was like, damn it, man. We played a good game, but that's the game you got to win. These are the teams you have to beat. So winning tonight felt really good because that was the only thing I took from the Edmonton game. I was like, I can be like, yeah, we played well. We did this. But I was like, this is the kind of teams you have to contend with. So tonight kind of made me feel better about that whole thing.
I think I texted with you guys, right? I said, we get this loss. Now it's 2 losses in a row going into this week as opposed to this win. And now it just changes the whole way you look at it. Not that they wouldn't rebound. They're professionals. They're going to rebound from it next game. But we look at it and go, okay, now if you happen to lose one of the games to Columbus or Anaheim, it looks like, the end of the world again. When really that's just not it. That's just the way this team's playing. There's no end of the world right now.
No. And like I said,
despite injuries,
they seem to keep getting better. And they're healthy now. I mean, this is other than Hamilton out of the lineup. I mean, he's really the only main guy now that's out. So this is the healthiest they've been in a long time.
And they're healthiest while still waiting for a couple players to get going.
Yeah, I mean,
that's kind of good news.
I really think that this team and
Meyer step in the right direction. He's been.
Mercer got a goal tonight, right? He needs to.
Mercer got a goal.
Yeah, he did. And at times he looked unsure. So when he scored, it was like brilliant. That's exactly what the team needed, obviously, but exactly what he needed. And maybe he's really on the right track.
Palat had a good game, I thought.
I think that Palat and Holla and Bratline really worked. They're really
starting to lead this team to be a little more hard-nosed.
Yep. And, then Hughes is just Hughes, I mean, the fact that he was off the score sheet for 3 days, I bet he was sitting on that bench just praying for overtime. You
could tell when he scored too. He was more like, okay, I'm not going to like overly celebrate there.
Yeah.
He was happy to feel like he was back in the groove. I think finally.
Yep.
I mean, and in that 3-on-3, when he's able to go just straight 1-on-1 with people, and not when he doesn't have the puck. I mean, the guy, he's nasty. He just takes the thing away from you. I mean, he's an amazing player. So, I mean, the 3 games, I didn't think it was a big deal not being on the scoreboard for 3 games. You're Jack Hughes, you know.
And Chris, I got to say, Nico, I mean, really, we talked about it last show too. I didn't, even myself, and I've always been a Nico fan. I wasn't against him being captain and stuff, but I really see how important he is back in that lineup. Tonight, even, you know, he just, something about that guy. He just is kind of like an anchor for that team. And you didn't really realize it until he was out of the lineup, you know.
I think he's grown into it. I honestly feel like he's more of a leader this year. That
you could even
his
see it in the
style
press
of play.
conferences.
Yeah,
This
it's just
year-
like what he adds to the team. He brings a work ethic that he might have always had, but he didn't get to necessarily get infectious to the rest of the team. And now that's it, man. He's like the guy who brings that work ethic to the rest of the team.
This year is the first year that I actually look at Nico Hischier as the captain. You know, the guy actually steering the ship. And for whatever reason, he's just, like Dan said, he's just naturally grown into it, gotten a little bit better every year at that role. And he's, you know, quickly becoming one of my all-time favorite Devils.
And it's way more than just, you know, the slotting back down into positions when he came back. Obviously, he brings so much more. And the way he plays might even be more impactful now because we have so many players that are like freewheeling and float around. You really got that calming presence back there. And, you know, he's no offensive slouch himself. You know, he's just all around great player. So we talked about over the summer, we just compare everybody to Scott Stevens, right? And we said, how is he compared to that? But yeah, we've all seen he's definitely emerged as a big leader and he's really helping carry this team. So I'm a huge Hischier fan. He looks great.
Yeah. And, you know, it was kind of weird. The Devils were actually favored tonight by a goal and a half, which I thought was a little odd.
I wonder if most Devil fans would agree. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I okay,
How did
we're
they come up with
home,
that?
and maybe that's the only thing. I mean, I know we're a good team, but this is a team that's clearly above us in the standings, and you know, never really struggles throughout the year. I think they've lost
won
5
the
or 6 games,
set a record for most points last year. I mean, like if you're gonna like throw a tiebreaker, I think you got to throw it Boston's way right now. You know?
Yeah. So you know, we were favored by a goal and a half, and if you took the Devils, fortunately, they won. Unfortunately, they didn't cover. So if you did, I hope you did on the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Download the app now and use code THPN.
Tippecanoe and Tyler too.
Just put in the tip.
New customers can get $150 instantly in bonus bets for betting just $5 in hockey. That's code THPN only on DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL. The crown is yours.
Thanks.
Can you say Biggs? Just throwing out random gambling terms.
No, you gave me the crown. And I said thanks.
I always think of childbirth when
Yeah,
Chris does the crown. When Chris does the crown
Biggs.
part, I always think of childbirth. I don't know what it is. The crowning.
What? The crowning of the
The
You've been
crowning
Crowning of the baby.
The kid is
Tony has
yours.
been-
All right.
What was it like in that room, Tony? Were you having no, go ahead.
My kid came out with a lot of hair, so
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, it's mine, man."
Did your kid have a gambling problem?
Yes, it did.
'Cause if they
If
did,
so,
they
We
should
called the
have called
hotline.
800-GAMBLER or visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. In Lithuania, call
go fuck
Tony.
yourself.
Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort. 21 plus. Age varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario with those stupid Ontarians. And if any are listening, I'm only kidding. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. See dkng.com/hockey for eligibility and deposit restrictions, terms, and responsible gaming resources. NHL and the NHL Shield are registered trademarks of the National Hockey League. Copyright NHL 2023. All rights reserved.
What is with Ontario though? Really, like they don't like gambling? I didn't know. Like, did they get some kind of weird Puritan strain? I don't know about. Like,
They
what's
may
the problem?
Have. They may have. I don't know. Maybe they have their
Ontario.
own gambling.
What's the
things
deal?
in Canada. But it
We
doesn't
need a
say
re-
Canada.
I think
It just says
This is why we need a research assistant. We should probably ask THPN for a research assistant that they could pay for to give us like, some of these facts that we just wonder about sometimes, useless facts like that.
I think having our own personal research assistant is a wonderful idea.
I think it's a great idea.
This is what the show needs.
All the research we're not doing right now.
Can you imagine being that person? Like, it's a college intern, and they think they're like going to work in like something good, and then you have us 4 idiots asking them stupid questions that like Siri could easily answer. And that's all they do all day. They'd be losing their minds.
That would be fantastic. We have to get ourselves an intern.
Yeah,
Anybody listening?
you know what? Anybody who wants to intern for us, please drop us a line. Maybe we can work something out.
Yeah, this would be fantastic. And just think, you'd be on the show every single day.
Absolutely.
3 times a week, buddy.
That's right.
Okay. Yeah.
What's wrong with Ontario?
It's just human. Yeah. I was thinking about this. We talked about this before, Dan. So you guys are all, I know we're going to do the devil, here, but something off topic for a second. So are you guys all gym guys? You guys all kind of like, we all go to these places, right? Try to keep up.
Gym
Yeah.
Oh, like going to the gym?
Like go to the gym. We're not like all like muscle guys, but we're all take care of ourselves.
I only go there to buy my steroids, but after that, I just don't try to get in and out.
I really haven't been to the gym in a long time.
Dan, you don't go either.
No, I go. I went today.
He goes. I
gonna-
go. I just haven't
These people,
been.
do they drive you in? People suck at the gym, man. Like, this is for everybody who listens that go to the gym.
It's like a Seinfeld bit coming up.
These people, I'm telling you, like everyone's on their cell phones and like they leave the machines and like they sit on the machines for like 25 minutes.
Oh yeah, when they're just sitting there and like, you're supposed to, rest between sets. And I honestly find myself rushing a little bit just out of like fucking common courtesy. The reason I don't want to like just wait when the light turns green, I fucking go, like you're from New Jersey and everybody thinks you're an asshole. But part of it's like you just want to be nice and like get out of people's way because we all live a little closer together. But yeah, when you see that person who's just fucking like just parked there, and then like once in a while you find somebody like they're setting up a fucking camera. There's a tripod next to this guy. He's like, I gotta get video of this, and I'm fucking working hard here.
And you're in the background, fucking dying.
Do you watch this in the like before you even get out of the gym? Are you reviewing it? I have a lot of questions. Like, are you going home and like, okay, honey, I want to show you something I did today. Look at this. I made a video. I'm working out.
I lifted heavy things.
Yeah. Are you posting on the internet? And you're like, where is this going? What are you fucking doing with this? People are like, I need to check my form. What are you doing? Like, how important is this for? You don't want to sway your back. I understand. You can't feel that. You need a video to tell you like what
There's
kind
fucking
of form.
Mirrors everywhere. You
That's
know what
another
you're
thing.
doing when you're doing it.
Absolutely.
Let me tell you guys, here in Europe, so in the States, I always notice this at the gym. The fucking old dudes always walking around naked in the locker room, right? It's unbelievable. Here, it is insane. Everyone's just talking to each other with their dicks hanging out and shit. I'm like, what the fuck is going on, man? It is
That's
a
sauna
big thing
culture.
here.
You're in Europe. It's
nobody
a sauna
cares.
culture.
But in America, it was like usually like 80-year-old dudes walking around. Here, it's just everyone's having the full conversations with, just nothing on. I'm like, this is fucking weird to me, man. I keep my headphones on, keep on going.
It makes you wonder what happened in a few generations ago in this country that like it's not normal anymore, but over there it still is. And here it's only normal if you go back like 3-4 generations.
I'd say the World War II generation is probably the last generation that were comfortable being naked around each other.
So what happened then? Why
are we doing this on the podcast naked?
Excellent.
I thought they were sexually liberated in the 60s, but yet everybody's more worried about, not being naked. Like I don't know. I think it's weird.
That is an excellent question. What happened in society that made us so damn fucking?
Yeah, I don't know.
Not naked.
I'll tell you this though, there's comfortable being naked, and then there's 70-year-old 1 foot up on the bench having a conversation for 10 minutes after coming out of the YMCA pool naked, and they are just 2 totally different fucking things. I gotta tell you, man.
Playing in the men's league, I would have like a couple old timers on the team. There's one guy who's in his 60s that he'd show up early, and I always show up early. I'm the goalie. I don't know. I just feel like I got to be early, and he's there, and he's got a routine. And it involves getting completely naked down to nothing on his body, and he's standing on his socks, and he's like, the hockey socks, and he's still naked. Wait, and this guy takes about 5-10 minutes. I got like most of my stuff on by the time he's done, just coating his body in Ben Gay, his naked body in Ben Gay, and it's just like, what is? And it doesn't look good. I mean, what is going to look good? It's just like you didn't expect to see that, but. here we are.
Dude, these guys shave their chests over the sink here in the gym.
Oh.
Like they fucking do that, or
That's
no
weird.
one's circumcised here. So I'm like, I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? It's crazy, man. Yeah, it's crazy.
I
I
do
never
see
seen
a
it.
guy once in a while shaving in the sink at the gym, and I'm like, what the fuck is your life like?
Shaving
I don't
their
know if I
balls
told the
over
story.
the fucking.
I was at the gym, and for a while I was going early in the morning, like fuck, as soon as it opened at like 5:30, trying to go before work, and so like I go in there, and I'm taking a piss, I'm at the urinal, and I hear like the guy comes in, he starts cleaning. I guess the guy cleans in the morning. And then there's a guy talking to him through the stall. And he's like, how you doing? And he's like, well, I'd be doing better if you weren't taking a shit every fucking morning. And the guy's like, and they're arguing, and the guy's still in the stall, and this is amazing. I almost don't want this piss to end because, they're arguing, and the guy's like, well, if you don't like your job, I don't know what to tell you, And he's like, well, maybe you better find a better fucking gym. Why don't you go to the bathroom from your house? And he's flipping out. And I'm like,
Did they have sex right in front of you?
The second I left, there was hardcore gay sex in that bathroom. I don't know.
Or then you have the
I mean,
couples, right?
it's
The
like-
couples that go together, and they're like, you can tell the guy's like knows everyone's staring at his girl, so he's like kissing on her, and like while they're working out and stuff. It's just like it's like a
You know what's
circus.
weird about gym couples too, though. Like I noticed they usually look very similar. There's something about them. They're very like the people who are like definitely working out on a daily basis for years, and they get that girlfriend at the gym, boyfriend at the gym, and like my first time I see them, I'm like, I think they're brother and sister, because once in a while you run into families at the gym, and I'm like, they look like the same, like that's the same fucking nose, like there's the same. And then like they'll lean over and there's a kiss, and I'm like, oh, that's scary, Like I would have sworn to you that's brother and sister, but there's something
The
weird
odds
about
was
gym
scared them for
couples.
life.
Yeah, where they're picking like the female or male version of themselves because like they worship themselves in some way. It's some weird psychology. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but it
I
freaks me out a little
realized
bit.
during this conversation that I don't pay nearly as much attention as maybe I should at my gym. I seriously go into the gym, I put my earbuds in, I put my hood up, and I don't look at anybody. I go to the machines I'm doing. I'm done in 40 minutes. I wash my
Chris
hands.
is the naked guy.
No. I don't even know if my gym has showers. Like I don't spend enough time in there ever. I think they do, but I've never seen them. I like I said, I just
These
I
are
go
the people in your neighborhood.
No, these are people I don't ever want to talk to. I don't want to have anything to do with.
Well, that's what
I'm
headphones
just-
are for.
Headphones
When
are
you
in.
wear headphones,
Yeah.
you got that protection. It's this fucking shield around you. I remember being at the gym. There's one guy who doesn't understand that headphones are shield protection. And he'll be like, and he like demands, he's like pointing
Right.
at your ear.
Oh, it's the
Like he
worst.
wants you to take the headphone. Like, what is it? And he's got something pointless to say. I'm like, dude, like, what are you doing? I got the shield up. I'm gonna put this back. I'm gonna put
Got
this
my
back
shield
now.
up.
I'm gonna put this back.
What you
Stay
listening to?
protected. You don't respect the shield.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't come here to talk to you.
Well,
Gym people suck,
gym people suck.
Gym people suck.
but we're all
It's all right.
The worst for me in this area. Oh, let's just go to the game.
I would like a game.
She asked you questions.
Bobby.
Buckle up, boys and girls. It is time for the Devil You Know on the Uncle Pucker New Jersey Devil Podcast.
Bobby, just remember what you were going to talk about.
Yeah, we got it. I'm gonna write it on a piece of paper.
Keep that thought in your head because we're going to it right after I answer this correctly.
Oh, wow.
Oh, we're playing the Devil You
Love
Know
it.
to our listeners that might not know. Where tonight it will be Tony. He will be giving clues of a former devil. Every week we go in rotation and we each give the clues. Tonight it's Tony's turn. Me, Bobby, or Dan have to try to answer. We get 3 incorrect answers before we are eliminated, which hasn't happened yet. Nobody's been eliminated. Tony is leading overall right now. I don't have my notebook, so we're going to have to... We'll go over the scores later. But that's about it. We
think
can
I'm
ask
winning.
Tony
I
any
think that's how it
question.
is.
What's that?
I think it's me who's winning.
This
You don't have your
season,
I
notebook.
think I had the lead week one.
I'm pretty sure I have the lead. You don't have
Tony
your
got the
notebook.
last 2, so he's actually...
There is no notebook. I think I'm
The
leading.
notebook does not exist. We can ask Tony any question we want, and he can or cannot answer. It's totally up to him. That's the game. Now we're going to play.
Nice.
This former devil was born in 1984, which makes him 39 years old now.
No, it doesn't. Yeah, it does. I guess. For a second,
I'm sitting there,
I
I'm thinking, I'm
don't
like, what? This
All right,
former
so-
devil played a total of 6 NHL seasons. 5 of those seasons, he played 50 games or more.
Okay.
With the Devils?
No, I'm not going to answer that yet. But the answer is no. He played with two different teams.
Well, you just answered it.
There you go. I didn't tell you who, though. This former Devil played center and shot left.
Okay.
Played center, shot left?
Yeah. This former Devil was born in Canada.
That narrows it down.
Which province?
BC. Body
Okay.
count.
Is that British Columbia?
Yes, it
British
is,
Columbia.
sir.
Okay, it's that one. All right, gotcha.
This
They have so
former
many
Devil
provinces.
played a total of 256 games in the NHL.
Okay.
BC
This former
guy.
Devil played 5 seasons with New Jersey.
What year was you born? 89?
84.
84.
He's 39.
Okay. And he played 5 years with the Devils?
Yes.
All right.
How old was he when he retired?
Can't answer that yet, but I could. Actually, it's coming up.
All right.
But this former Devil was 6 foot tall, and he also was undrafted.
Is he not 6 foot tall anymore?
Did he
He
shrink?
said
I don't know.
what?
You shrink when you get older, right?
You do.
Yeah, you say I can't really
We're waiting
verify
on a
that.
remeasurement.
I can't answer that question.
All right.
Say undrafted too. Did you get that part?
No, I just heard you. He was undrafted.
Yes.
Okay.
This former Devil scored his first NHL goal versus Martin Braun on the Flyers on November 8th, 2007.
Biron?
Yep.
Okay.
You ever hear Marty Baron on NHL Network?
I have not.
No,
Yes.
I didn't know he's broadcasting.
He's
Is he?
fantastic.
That's
I
great,
love
man. I
him.
never heard that dude talk. I always like
You
him.
never heard him talk?
No.
He talked like this, Dan. Like when I was behind the when I was playing in goal at that time, when I was with the Buffalo Sabres.
It's awesome.
So
great.
at that time, right, and the puck, I remember
old
it was
school
Tony
French
Amante.
Canadian
He
accent.
shot the puck, and it hit me
Yeah.
right in the mask, right, and my mask came off. I'm laying on the ground. That's Marty Baron.
I love it. I love a French Canadian accent. It's great.
He's fantastic.
That's
He
awesome.
may know the answer to this then. This former Devil played from 2006 to 2020,
Okay.
Wow, 2020?
I thought he only played
but
6
professionally.
years.
But professionally, that is
What?
not in the NHL.
I think he only played 6 years in the NHL.
What was his last year in the NHL?
I'll tell you that he retired in 2020, but he didn't play in the NHL that season. I'll get to when he
Okay, well, what was his last?
When did
oh,
he
you're
play
not
in the
gonna come to
NHL?
that.
When
All
did
right,
he
got
play in the NHL?
He played in the
2006?
NHL from 2002. Was it 2006? I believe till I think it gets to that.
2011 maybe?
Yeah.
2012.
And then
Probably in and out.
Years
Made it out of
was
the year
Devils.
13, 14, 15.
Yes.
Okay.
With the NHL affiliate, with the Devils affiliate, the Lowell Devils, this guy scored 38 points in 75 games.
Okay. Was this guy ever to the Devils club, traded, and then come back to the Devils? Was he only with the Devils in one stretch, or was it more than one
He
stretch?
was traded and did come back to the Devils.
Okay. He's done two
But
stretches or three
He
stretches?
did not play with New Jersey when he came back the second time. He was in the
He came back to the Devils, but didn't
Organization,
play
yeah.
up. He played down.
yeah.
Okay. Oh, this guy. He's a
This
British
fucking
Columbian.
guy.
I'm sorry.
So basically,
you said center,
NHL
right?
was 2006 to 2011,
Yes,
guys. By the way,
center.
And what I wrote
2006,
down 256. Why did I write down 256?
That's
That
his
was how
weight.
much
He was
games-
a big guy. He's a very
How many
big
games
boy.
he played?
we can't verify if he's 6 foot anymore.
That's how many illegitimate children he has.
256.
Wow.
In That's a lot of children.
I cannot
Yeah.
even
Illegitimate or
I
otherwise.
can't even think of a person right now.
I could do that one shot.
That's exactly
This former
the time-
Conditions
Devil-
are right.
That's
like
exactly the
Devil
time
door,
frame.
maybe.
Real quick, that's exactly
2006
the time frame that I
2011 is
checked out
NHL
of hockey.
time frame.
Yeah, right. That's
Like,
that's
I
what
don't
he did.
know
He,
anything
that's
about
for
the
sure.
Devils.
he
in
purposely
that,
picked this.
so,
He knows.
Yeah, so I'm pretty
Tony,
much.
I have to say, we should point this out. We don't talk about physical appearances because it's obviously an audio medium. But Tony's rocking a very new and cool mustache, and none of it
Yeah,
comes.
I wonder when the audition is.
I already filmed it last night.
All right,
What is going on? I mean, that's a little Randy McKay-ish, a little like Dirk Diggler-ish. I don't know.
I
what
change
is.
it up once in a while. The
Rock.
wife likes the porn stash.
He
so,
said Randy
it's
McKay
good.
should get one check.
Yeah, exactly.
This former Devil would play
I
from
dig the
2000.
mustache tone.
Thanks.
It is good. It's
Yeah,
working out for me.
It's,
I like
it's
it.
good. And now that we're going to discuss it, let's discuss it. It's very nice.
It is
Thank you
good.
very
Keep
much.
Keep it.
You know,
It's
it's got
full.
the going with this Zorro.
Bob,
look.
what's with the mustache hating?
I love mustaches. Give me a good mustache. any
Bobby's
day.
got no hair on his face and no eyebrows.
He's got some eyebrows. I think that if he really doesn't like hair,
hurt you, Bobby?
He's powder over there.
Not that I know of.
Okay.
usually it is.
All right. So what about this guy that I'm never going to get?
Yeah, what do
I forgot who he was too now.
This inconsequential player from 2006 to 2011.
This
From
former
British
Devil,
Columbia.
Inconsequential.
This
Yeah.
former Devil would play
Forward
from
shot
2006 to
left-handed.
2011.
How many goals did he have?
Where he would wind up with 7 goals and 19 assists with the Devils and played a total of 221 games with the Devils.
What a nothing. So how many penalty minutes?
221 games. That's a decent amount of games.
I know. Did he have a lot of penalty
Listen,
minutes?
this is like the kind of pick, though, that like it's a nobody, right?
Is it Rod Pelly?
Yes, it is, Bobby.
What the fuck?
Oh, not
Bobby?
a no. Rod Pelly, buddy.
Exactly.
Rod Pelly's kind of a.
A
All right,
nobody
all right.
was last week, Dan. Last week was fucking nobody.
Who was last week?
Palmieri, yeah, Nick Palmieri in there.
Oh, I missed that one.
That was a tough one.
That was digging.
Okay, that was a good one, though. You guys got it.
That
You
was-
two, Bobby,
that was
Tony,
good. Bobby,
wonderful.
congratulations.
That-
That was awesome.
I'm proud of you, Bob.
Thanks, man. I think I got 2 this year. 1 last
That's
season,
very
2 this
good,
season.
Bobby.
I'm
How
good.
much
Tell us your
was
naked
Tony
Jim
charge
story.
you?
Ready
Give
to
it up,
retire.
Bobby. Wait a
Oh,
minute.
that's what Tony's getting out of this. That give you the answer. He's very good. I get it.
So what are our
Bobby,
next
what was your
games?
Jim story?
Oh wait,
Oh,
Bobby.
no.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
just going to say the hardest thing about being around here is how many people just, whenever like a Philly sports team is doing something great, they just assume, that I'm with them on that. And half the time I just kind of nod my head and kind of walk
They want
away.
to talk about the Eagles.
Yeah, they want to
Well,
talk about
already-
a lot of the Phillies.
What's
Philly,
the,
stuff like
what's
that,
the mentality like of the general populace now with the Eagles losing 2 in a row?
I haven't really seen any change, to be
No?
honest with you.
They're in denial.
That is not something I hear a lot of, like at the gym. It's usually more of like playoff time and stuff like that, where it's
right.
Right.
Then they
and that's
get
what's
loud.
killing. Like when the Phillies are constantly doing good, and it's just like it's killing me, and they want to talk to me about it.
I
And
ran
I
into a
decide
Flyer.
right then and there: do I get into it or do I not?
So
I think
we're-
the Flyer
we're-
fans got a lot to be proud of this year. The Flyer fans, they definitely
doubt.
exceeded expectations. right?
Occupation.
And occupations.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
They did both
You know, but
Absolutely.
we're
Easy to do.
Dan, I wonder with you. Me and Chris were. I think Bobby was on with us too. So this guy, Tommy DeVito.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
who this guy? I mean, it is unbelievable.
I know Danny very well, but
Danny.
Plus his dad.
But like,
Danny's
Yeah.
a
I mean,
cool man.
it's
Exactly.
insane how popular this guy is now. I mean,
Yeah,
I would think
it was
non-football
kinda all of a
fans would
sudden.
know.
he's almost in like everything you see come across the wire
I think
there.
they're going to name a rest area after him soon.
Yeah, but I mean, I prefer his father. He's made me laugh way more.
His
They'll have a
dad,
reality show in 2
his
years.
dad did a commercial on WFAN for a hot water heater company. He was,
Yeah.
so now his dad
He'll do anything.
apparently, but
Jersey Mike's.
What better? Yeah, they have to do a Jersey Mike's commercial, right? I mean,
Oh, yeah.
with
No, he
Danny
is. He's-
DeVito. Oh, they
Actually,
okay.
Danny DeVito, dude, I think you drive past the billboard where he's on. I gotta check where that is. I'm pretty sure you do. You never seen that?
No.
Danny DeVito has been repping Jersey
no,
Mike's
I
for
knew
like
that.
a
I
month.
thought you were
Yeah.
saying something. Yeah, no, I knew that. I said,
Oh,
but
I'm
it's
sorry.
only a matter of
My
time until they get Tommy on the Jersey Mike's commercial. Like,
Oh,
this,
yeah, definitely.
This is
Definitely. He's rising.
You couldn't
right?
have a better story than this Italian American kid who still lives with his mom playing football for the New York
TD,
Giants. Like, it's
initials.
seriously, even if he crashes and burns the rest of his career, there's going to be a movie about this
Oh,
guy.
yeah.
Well, that's what I was saying. He'll have a reality
Mark
show in like 2
Wahlberg will
years.
play him and-
You know,
what's that?
he'll have a reality show in 2 years. If this was 1990s, he would be hosting MTV Beach Party this summer. I mean, this is the
I
the
like
kind
the
of status
kid,
he
though.
has
And
now.
I'm telling you though, I was watching that Packer game, and right after the Packers scored the touchdown, and he's in the 2-minute drive to take his team down, he dropped a dime. I don't know who number 17 is for the Giants, but he dropped a dime, man, and it was a beautiful pass. And that was like the first time that drive I was kind of like, man, this kid can play. He's clutch. I think the Giants actually have something pretty good with him, man.
Does Daniel Carlson? Does he ever start? I mean, does he ever start again? The quarterback, Daniels.
Yeah, definitely. They're paying him too
think
much
so?
money to not start. They'll make DeVito a backup next year, and if Jones falters, then DeVito will be in there, and that's it. We'll see how he does, and he'll probably catch on. A few years as a backup, and he'll do good, and he'll make good money, and he'll be set for life. I don't think.
Oh, good, because I was worried that he might have been hurting for money.
No,
his father's Danny DeVito.
He's doing commercials with Danny DeVito for the rest of his life now. The guy's gonna be. He's all set. He's the Jersey Mike's. He's also gonna be on Always Sunny once he gets traded to Philadelphia. They're doing
got him coming out through a couch. He's gonna crawl out of a couch naked.
Is Jersey Mike's everywhere there now?
I don't like it. What?
Is Jersey Mike's everywhere like there now? Is it like, when I was a kid, it was Poor Boys. I don't even know if that exists anymore.
Now I found one in North Dakota. I swear to God, it's all over the country.
Yeah, it's in Florida too.
Oh yeah, it's in Florida. Been a long time now, but like they've expanded, and I've seen it drop in quality here locally as they expand nationally. I'm not going to lie to you, but I've never been like the biggest Jersey Mike's fan. I know it's very popular even here in the state, but I think it's like it's.
Yeah. I was pretty psyched. I was pretty psyched to get one right down the road.
I would be too if I was where you are, definitely.
Like, we just got a Domino's here. I couldn't believe it. I was driving down the road and I said, oh, holy shit, a Domino's. I was like, that is weird to see that here.
When they opened up, I was actually, I went in there and I had my dad to give me one of his Tom's River sweatshirts, working for the school district. So I'm wearing that. And he's like, you from Tom's River? I'm like, yeah. And he was the manager of the one that they opened up here. He's like, I'm from Point Pleasant, which is obviously where the first store was. I'm like, that's awesome. He was driving it every day. 5 days a week. He's like, they asked me to like operate this store. I'm like, and you're doing this commute every day? That's absolutely sick.
So you took him in?
Yes, took him in. I gave him a nice soft bed, a porn stash,
porn stash, and a Ryan Graves jersey.
That's it.
Right, that's that. That's awesome.
All right. So Columbus is next, right? That's Saturday night. Or
I need these points, man. Bobby got 2 points. Bobby got 2 points that first game, man, on his little predictions. I need these 2 points on this game.
I don't even know. I don't even remember what I said.
I don't know.
I think I predicted everything
Columbus.
right. I think I got like 16 points on that last round.
Well, you guys' predictions were like.
I did listen to the last show. Chris, did you go back and get clarification on a couple of those?
Oh no,
questions we have for Dan.
They're lost to the ages.
That's why we need that
going to let it go.
Person.
The intern's going to take care of
let it go. As soon as we get that intern hired, we're going to settle this finally.
This will be
cool.
with the rest.
So
forever.
if you want to be our intern, send an email to unclepuckers@gmail.com. And we'll be sure to hire you for $0 and give you the stupidest jobs ever created. Yeah, no, that's fine.
All right, so what do you guys expect? Saturday night. I mean, we'll be on after the game, but like this is I
hope they want a little revenge. They did not play well against them last time around. So I hope they want to right the wrongs of the past and like show them a new and improved Devils team like we believe we're seeing.
That's all you could ask for, right? That's a team, again, you should beat, especially with the expectations kind of being a little, mostly met now. This is, they should go and whoop the shit out of Columbus in their barn.
Yeah, I think it's going to look like a contending team beating a non-contending team. Again, not a super easy win, but I want to see something with a little breathing room in it. Not fully dominant, but, pretty close.
I really hope they don't have some arrogant performance where they're just taking the whole game off or half the game off and think they can win. It's happened this season, and
that's
they can't come back. It's got to be something in the past.
That's going to say a lot about this team right now.
Mm-hmm.
This, you just came off the biggest win in, I'll say, since biggest regular season win since even last year's. This was the biggest one.
Yeah. Can you reset, settle down, and play a good game?
They keep showing they can show up for the big guys, but they're not for the people who are arguably below us. So
you can't come out and say like, well, this team's not our level, so we weren't ready for them, and you got to be real.
And they got to be feeling amazing right now. I mean, this win for their confidence has got to do amazing things because, like you said,
100%.
if you lose 2 games in a row, not that big of a deal. But if you lose 2 games in a row to arguably the best team in the NHL and arguably the best team in the NHL in the past 2 weeks. Edmonton's playing as good as anybody. Boston's the best team. That's it. That's what stings. Oh shit. We can go to out west and beat the Kraken and beat Vancouver, who's a good team, but now we come home and this is what we get. We lose these games. Not that Edmonton was home, but against 2 really good teams, how do your confidence
when the chips are down, shaken? We didn't come up,
and now it's holy shit, we had a couple of bad breaks and didn't play our best game, but we hung with Edmonton as far as skating goes and everything. We hung with them. We played pretty good defensively. There's a lot of things you can take positively away from that loss, and then to go and just do it wasn't this, and I'm glad this wasn't a dominant win by us because you could always have in the back. Boston didn't play well.
Oh yeah, they came out.
Boston played a
Boston.
great game. The
They were
Devils
awesome.
just played a little bit better, and that's awesome to see, man.
That actually may be the best
Pasternak was,
Swayman
incredible.
performance I saw. Of watching him play, that was probably the best performance I've
How
seen.
great
looked
would he
so
look
good.
in a Devils jersey?
Man, I'm just watching like little things, his body language, how intense he's in the game, how he's reading every play, and I'm like, dude, I would love to have that guy. I totally see where he brings so much energy. He was awesome. So yeah, you can't say like, oh, Boston didn't bring their A game. They probably played as hard as they've ever played this season.
Did you guys anybody watch the Carolina game last night?
I didn't see the
What happened?
Carolina game.
Brady Kachuk tried to fight.
saw the- I saw
I
the
did
video.
see that.
Kachukov,
Yeah.
Wait, what
I
happened?
love that goalie. I mean,
Brady-
he did a great job.
Kachukov made this. Dan will tell you the save he made was badass on Brady Kachuk. Brady Kachuk wanted to fight him, tried to fight him
Well,
afterwards.
it was a penalty shot, right?
Yeah.
So
Came
Brady Kachuk has a penalty shot. He comes in. He's got some speed, which I respect. I hate the guys who go just so slow. It's
know.
ridiculous. And he's cutting from like the left circle over across the middle. And Coach, he just makes this great poke check. It's just beautiful.
Far
And
from the crease, like
Yes.
he's
several
out
feet
there,
out.
so challenging. And what I love to
Kachuk
see,
flew into the boards.
I love to see the goalies willing to gamble on the big move in the shootout. Let's face it, guys, the shootout sucks. I'm going to tell you the truth. If I was a goaltender in the NHL, which everybody loves to imagine that scenario, none of us are ever going to do. When it came to
'cause we're
shootout
50, Dan.
time, well, not only that, there's also like it's such an elite position where very few people are ever going to get that chance. Like the regular rules of playing good breakaway shots, I feel like some extent go out the window. And you're playing a skills competition where you got to play like a mental game, and you're just guessing shit, and sometimes you're trying different shit. And some of that has to be this like really dramatic move he did where he just lays out. He's like 6 feet from the crease.
At least
That's
yeah.
awesome.
He's way out there. Totally like lays out and does a great poke check, which takes Kachuk out, right? And he
He
just
didn't
skitters
expect
into
that.
the boards.
Falls into the
He
boards.
did not
Didn't
expect it. And he got pissed. He hit the boards hard, but it wasn't like he swung his stick just trying
he
to
played
take
the
his legs
puck
out.
first. Like it was a
Played the
perfectly
puck
good
first,
play. Yeah.
totally clean. And then so Kachuk comes out mouthing at him, and he's just going back at him like, "Yeah, I definitely fucking did that." Like probably. I don't know
love
what
Brady
exactly.
Kachuk. I fucking love
Yeah.
Brady Kachuk, but it was all Brady Kachuk's got like 13 goals too this year. I don't know, there's something about that player I love, but it was
I love
funny
him too.
because he didn't expect it because, like we said, the NHL has changed so much that these guys don't ever expect to get touched, and he was more annoyed, I think, that he got touched because he was pissed off.
Yeah.
when
I
he
felt like that was
penalty. Yeah.
a fight for the goalies everywhere. Like, no,
Yeah.
dude. Instead of just running us over every fucking play, on this chance, we can fucking take you out. And he did it in the right way, and it was just awesome. So I love that. It was like my favorite goalie move of the season so far.
I got to go check it out.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah, I mean, I think you guys have you watched? I didn't watch like you said that game last night, but have you watched the Rangers games the last couple of games?
Yeah, looking back to
bit.
normal.
Seeing,
Getting some time to
yeah.
make some ground.
Shesterkin's letting a few in, right?
I mean, he looked
Letting
awful
goals.
against Toronto in the first period yesterday. He let 4 in, and he was not Shesterkin like. He came back and played pretty good after that, but they still got a couple more past him. But their losses, like I think they lost the last 3 out of their last 4, and their losses have been huge, like by multiple goals. Like I'm wondering, like maybe there is some room to catch. Not that the Devils are going to catch them, but maybe somebody can. Maybe they're not that safe at first place right now.
I mean, they couldn't sustain what they were doing forever, but we didn't think they'd fall off.
No,
But,
if they even get
7
to human
points.
and the team gets hot, that's when you can catch them. They were the hot team up till now.
I mean, I'm not going to count Laviolette out. He's done great things for this team, but there's a point where, like, okay, great, it's been working, and then when do the individual egos that make up that team start, tearing some of that apart? And I don't know. That's what I wonder about, because I feel like that team has been always the worst thing you can say about them is that they're a collection of parts, really nice parts, but they're not a team. And this year, Laviolette got them playing like a team. Are they going to be able to sustain that? I think it's doubtful.
I think that one thing that can definitely mess with a team like the Rangers' psyche is if Igor Shesterkin does start playing human-like. He's always been the guy that no matter what they did, he'd be rock solid back there, and he'd bail him out. And if he starts to look human, does that mess with the team psyche? Like,
shows you how big that quick signing was. I mean, we didn't
he's
expect
been
it.
ridiculous.
If anybody's going to come down to earth, I think it'd be Quick, though. Like I am very surprised he's had amazing turnaround of his career, and he's played the best hockey he has in 5 years, 7 years.
Well, I'll be honest. Watching him play recently, I thought to myself when we were having some struggles, I was like, I wouldn't mind having Quick. I wouldn't mind if we would sign him.
I wonder if that's sustainable. He's up there in age,
question.
and that could come back and all of a sudden, boom, back down to earth. I don't know.
I don't think so. And as far, we talk about, oh my God, we're already 25, 30% into the season, whatever it is. But the other side of that is we still have 70% to go. So for all the huge swings that have gone positive in one direction or negative in the other, these things tend to balance out a little bit, like we're seeing with our team, just kind of rounding into form. It's not as quick as we want, but I feel like we're going to 2 Saturdays from now, at the end of the year, I think we're going to look back at this last group and really kind of figure out we're going to have a lot of wins. I think I'm looking at the schedule and the teams that they want to beat that maybe they lost to. You called it a revenge game. You got the Flyers in there. You got Columbus a couple times.
And remember, we haven't played the Rangers that much this year yet. We still have games against
I think we're on that cusp right now where we're going to roll off 3-4 wins a loss, 3-4 wins a loss, and make it 8, 9 out of 10 by the end of the year. Things are looking really good. And other teams like the Rangers, sometimes you just can't hold it that long. Boston's, picking off a little bit too. So
look, I think when it's all said and done, I do think the Metropolitan Division is going to be Carolina, New Jersey, and the Rangers. I don't think that. I think that the 3 teams that everybody thought are going to end up in the top 3 are going to end up in the top 3. I just think the Rangers having that kind of a cushion is super important when you can play as well. Look at what we did last year. I do think, though, the way the Metropolitan Division is, I don't know how much separation any of these teams are going to get, which means I do think that it's going to be a lot of fun down the stretch because I don't think that anybody's going to get any separation. We might
looks like a dogfight the whole way through.
Yeah, we might end up solid 2 most of the season, but we might only have a 3 or 4 point lead from 3 or 4 different teams. Yeah, that's how crazy this can be.
Yes, very possible to go into the last week of the season, the last couple games of the season,
and it would be nothing better than to be able to get on a really good hot streak, and bank some points now. If this team can start rattling some games off, go on a Edmonton-like streak, go 8-9 games. Because they can do it,
We just did 5 out of 6. We lost to teams we didn't think we should have, so you could have,
But you kind of feel like maybe that was a bit of a turning point for this team. They do seem different now, even in the beginning of the year when we were winning games and it was kind of loosey-goosey still. And but now it's this is a completely different team than what we saw.
They're more complete. We have less time.
When you can start putting together a couple of games, whether you win or lose, but you're talking giving up 1 goal, maybe 2, that's really important, for the way they're playing as a team in general. You can lose an occasional game, when you only give up a goal or 2. Yeah. But you're going to win more than you lose. And then finally next week, we're finally going to be after a back-to-back, which is this Saturday and Sunday, it's every other day for the week.
Yeah,
nice little
awesome.
consistent
pretty much
roll.
Right up till Christmas like that, right?
Pretty well. It's every other day through the 23rd, and then they're off the 24th, 25th, 26th. Which is one game on the 27th, a day off, and then back to back again. And as we know, we have the most back to backs.
Yeah, this is the time.
So this is the time
stringing it together. You're right.
Exactly. Bank the points right now
because they're capable of it. And man, they could take tonight and that way that they played and put it together against lesser teams, you're going to have so much more success, and that's all you need, man. To know you can hang with the good guys.
You said it right earlier, Chris.
Take care of the teams you're going to take care of.
You said it right earlier in the show. It felt like that really because tonight when we signed on, it was exciting. It was like I remember last year during those playoff runs. This show was a lot of fun. That playoff run, we were all pretty pumped up. And I felt like that tonight signing on for tonight's show. I was like, okay. I'm like, this felt like a game where, you just felt you couldn't go right to bed after you watched it, instead of when I was watching some of those games a couple weeks ago, it was like, why am I staying up for this bullshit?
Is his audio getting wonky with you
Yeah.
guys?
That's why we do the podcast, so we can get people to go to sleep after they're done with the excitement of the game.
Exactly.
We need to load this now.
We're gonna fade into brown noise, you know.
Yeah, Tony, whatever, your connection is all wonky, so I don't know if you're even
Great.
still there, but we're gonna.
Are we announcing next Tuesday yet, or no? Not yet.
No, not yet, because I just
Okay,
want.
gotcha.
I'm gonna
Maybe something big coming, maybe not. We'll see.
Yes, we are hoping to, because if it's not
Little
Tuesday,
teaser.
it will be soon. But you can tell them who it is.
Is my
It's
connection
your
still
mom.
fucked
No,
up?
it's
Your mom's Fox.
no. Unfortunately, it's
you're
good
better.
right now.
All right.
But Jim Dowd, who's made an
Unfortunately.
appearance. I said fortunately, I think. I'll
Oh,
play it back
damn
to tape. Jim Dowd, who's made an appearance before,
Yes.
is going to come and weigh in, and I'm really curious what he thinks of this year's double team and how they compare to last year. I mean, it was great to get his opinions last time around. I'm super excited to hear what he thinks about this team, what he sees as the positives and negatives, where he thinks his team is going. I mean, his opinion is pretty, interesting to Devils fans.
And he's a
and
fun guy
we
to
can
talk
get-
to.
We get a Stanley Cup champion talking about what they think about this team. Yeah, I mean that's awesome. That's where I
Absolutely.
cannot wait.
Is
to
my
hear that.
audio
But
still
he
screwed
will be
up?
on. Wait, no, you're
No,
on
you're
there
back
right
now.
now. We told you
Okay.
that already.
Video's bad though. The video's
Yeah.
really bad.
There's
You look
something
like the
on
letter
your- there's
T.
something
Thing
on
of
your upper
nightmares.
lip.
Well, I have to say, Chris, congratulations. I will say this. Chris's football team won a nice 3-0 game against
That
my
riveting
football team
3-0
this week.
game.
Chris, congrats,
I mean-
man. My team sucks. Thanks for the misery. Extra little misery for me this weekend.
You're
It's all right,
welcome.
it happens.
I had a lot to do with that 3-0 win. So you're very welcome. It was one of the most abysmal.
You're at home
Lucky
cooking
Vikings
kicking a
boxers
voodoo
games.
doll. Is that what happened?
This was just, 3 hours of torture. I mean, a
Yeah, it
sport
was
that
bad.
is so much fun to watch. They just made it. I'm missing the Devil game for this because I had taped the Edmonton game. I watched it when I got
Dude,
home.
I kept
Right.
because of you two. Like I was invested in that game, and sometimes I just put like the score up on my phone. You know, sometimes like if you're just kind of watching the score on your phone, you'll realize the clock's not ticking down. So you're like, oh shit, I need to refresh it. So I kept picking up my phone. I'm like, I gotta refresh this shit. Like, what's
Well,
the
me
score?
and
of this
Chris were
game?
texting each other.
I'm like,
By
it's
the
really
third-
0-0.
By the third quarter, we're just like, dude, this is pathetic. Like,
It
we were
was
like,
bad.
this is absolutely
That game
awful.
probably owns the record for the most refreshes of any game. Like nobody
Yeah.
keeps track, but it probably is.
Tony, do you remember when the schedule came out? We actually had a discussion about possibly going to Vegas to check the game.
$750 a ticket, Chris, that was for those games, they said.
But we discussed it. Could you imagine actually
Imagine
shelling that money out and going to that fucking game? I mean, the
Yeah.
only saving grace is thank God it's in Vegas. 'Cause
Vegas,
that's,
yeah.
At least
Yeah.
you can. It's not
What
like
if
you're
you went to
walking out and you're
Minnesota?
like, great,
Yeah.
now we're in fucking Minnesota. Now we're in
And it's
Glendale,
cold.
Arizona. This is awesome.
It's negative
You know?
13 degrees.
Yeah,
And well, the great
exactly.
thing was the announcers were trying to they were really trying to keep it interesting. They're like,
Dude,
oh, this is a
I
great defensive
actually-
battle.
I actually said that to my buddy. I was like, man, Mark Sanchez really earned my respect as a color guy, trying so hard to make that game. There was one point that there was a catch that was being reviewed, and they were like, well, Mark, what do you think about this? He goes, just make it a catch so we can have something to talk about.
Yeah. He's not even trying to sell it too hard. He's like, just come on, guys. Come
It
on.
was
I gotta
awesome.
tell you give me a baseball game that's a pitcher's duel. It's a thing of beauty. You give me
Right.
a 0-0 hockey
was
game.
awful.
It's
Sure.
exciting, intense as hell. You give me that in football, I'm out. I'm checked
Well,
out.
I mean,
It
that's
doesn't
the
work.
thing. This
Yeah,
was a
I mean-
defensive battle. I mean,
Right,
both
but I think
defenses were
fans
good.
in football have less tolerance for both teams being, the defensive juggernaut. Like everybody's very confident, when their team is scoring okay and their defense is just amazing. It's awesome. But when you see two great defenses against each other, I think more than other sports, football fans are just
It's
make this
unnatural.
over. Make this over. I don't
Because
want to
you
be
know how
in
much it
here
fucks
right
up
now.
people's fantasy numbers.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
yeah.
all it comes down to.
It
What
just
was the
doesn't
spread
happen.
on that game, though? I think it was only 3 points. So
three
I
and a
think
half.
actually, if you picked this, so that's crazy.
Wow,
Yeah,
look at
Vikings-
Vegas getting
3.5. Does that
That's
mean
amazing.
nobody won?
No, 3.5 means Vikings didn't cover. So if you bet for the Raiders,
right.
you
Okay.
won. So
But it's kind of funny that it was just 3. We weren't talking 27-24.
yeah, no,
Three.
no, we won.
Bad, man.
But all right, we're gonna wrap it up for the evening. It's getting late. So wherever you're listening to us, thank you. Appreciate it. Give us a positive review and a like and whatever else you want. And we appreciate it. Also, check out Tampa Morgue, Tony's podcast that he does with his buddy about some heavy metal, hardcore, punk rock, fucking metal, and what else? Horror movies,
80s
right?
TV.
80s TV.
We
Awesome.
covered Morton Downey Jr. this week. Remember the old Morton Downey Jr. show?
Sure.
We talked
Oh,
about
yeah.
that shit this week,
Yeah.
man. Yeah.
So did you resurrect him for this show? Or
No, that guy had such
Are
a
you going
crazy...
to light up a cigarette for him?
You know, I remember
Can
actually...
you do a Morton Downey impression before we wrap it up, Tony?
I don't know.
I did
Oh, wait,
my
zip
Marty
it! What is
Baron.
he? Zip it! He was always fucking zip it. That was his term. But he was...
Yeah.
I remember being in
That's
Jersey
a good
as
one,
a kid.
Dan.
Yeah,
I was like
you go
Andrew
for it.
Dice Clay or Morton
Kinda
Downey
did
Jr.
that.
I wasn't really sure.
I don't know. It feels like Morton Downey might have done that.
Yeah, exactly. Died of lung cancer or died of something.
So,
like
yeah.
that,
But check out Tony's podcast,
heart.
Tampa Morgue. It's very entertaining for Tony, Dan, Bobby. I'm Chris. We're the Uncle Puckers. We'll see you when we see you.
Peace.
Puck is out.
Bye-byes.
I'm so happy about it. Bye-bye. I love it.
I got a camera recording of that so we can roll even when he's not here.
It is great. Bye-bye.
It's over, Johnny. It's over!